With literally hundreds of games on sale on the Nintendo eShop, it can be confusing, like which ones are actually worth it. If that's something you question, well, then you found the right video. Here, we take a deep dive on a game that's on sale, sometimes an incredible sale. We also will highlight a couple other games that are on sale, but that's right. It is time for our Sale of the Week video. Before we get into that though, guys, I do want to just say thank you for all the new subscribers, and all the people who check this out and aren't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. And if you like the video, well, please like it. Anyway, I do want to start off with a game that goes off sale here in the next couple days. I believe you'll have about 2 days after this video uploads to be able to pick it up. And this game is one of those that just went immediately into my backlog before I really checked it out. And so most recently I've been playing it because I almost rediscovered it. That is BlueFire. This game right now is $7.99. It is seriously worth that, if not better. Like, if this game was going to be on sale for longer, I would definitely do my deep dive on BlueFire, because I absolutely love this game. Like I said, it's only 2 days, and there's a lot of people who aren't going to watch this in the next 2 days, so hopefully, if you're interested in that game, you have a chance to pick it up. And there's one other game that I'll talk about just briefly, and the reason I didn't do a deep dive on this one is because I just did a video on it about 2 or 3 months ago, and that game is Eastward. Now, if you're halfway considering getting Eastward, now is definitely the time to get it. It is 40% off right now, so right now it's $14.99 American. That is so worth it. This is a game that took me about 30 to 40 hours to play and beat, with just an amazing story, wonderful graphics, the environment is amazing, and I really like the combat style as well. That kind of has a little bit of like Legend of Zelda combat style, but it's a fantastic game, and it's 40% off right now, and I believe you have until the 17th for that. And just checking, yes you do. Anyway, the main game I want to talk about today is a game that I've seen on the sales charts for a very long time. This is one of those games that pops up almost, it seems like, every month. This game is called Real Boxing 2. This one really caught my attention. Aside from the $1.99 price tag, it also just looks like something that would be comparable to Fight Night, which I absolutely loved way back in the day, playing like Fight Night Round 3. I just remember how amazing that game was, and it kind of reminded me of that book, The Contender, which I also really loved, so it was a great mix. And this is one of those games that, like I said, it's on sale a lot, but I've never really seen very many reviews on it, not many people talk about it, and I really wanted to just know more about the game. So I decided to do a deep dive on Real Boxing 2. And starting off is rather standard. You basically pick your fighter, you choose what you look like, and there's a number of customizable options. But the cool thing is as you play and as you fight more boxers and unlock more in the story world, you will unlock more customization options as well. Something like a mohawk is something I really wanted, but didn't have it right off the bat, so it's something I kind of had to wait for a little bit. But it kind of makes the game fun, and it gives you a general purpose to keep going. You know, just one of many things anyway. So as I started my journey to become the next Logan Paul, what, you don't like that? Okay, Manny Pacquiao? Oh, you don't like that either, huh? There's not a lot of boxers to really look up to, huh? So as I decided to become the next big boxer, I noticed I had to focus on, combat. Like, that's the most important thing, right? Boxing. And it uses both sticks to throw different punches, like crosses, uppercuts, things like that. And then your right and left bumper are the jabs. Actually, this game really felt pretty good to control. Like, I actually enjoyed the control of the boxing. I felt like I had a lot of control that way, as well as using the left bumper for blocking and the right bumper is kind of a modifier, something you could dodge and counter, which is also something that is really cool about the game. Being able to counter at the right time can make all the difference in the world. Once I got the basics down and everything felt really good, like I said, it happened pretty quickly. I was then ready to go on and start my career. How? By training. And much like in real life, no matter how much I exercised, trained, worked, sweat my ass off, it didn't seem to make much of a difference. The gains in this game are relatively modest, which is fine because you don't want a game where you can just zoom up to the top and be Mike Tyson the next day. I mean, you want to be able to work to be able to have your own cartoon, right? So the one thing that'll usually help you in these kind of games is a motivation, a story, a reason why your character decides to pick up the boxing gloves and be the best in the world. Now, it could be something incredibly cheesy and stereotypical, or something really cool. But without that motivation, the game feels a little stale, a little repetitive, almost like mini games all trapped into one. I'm gonna be honest, there is no story, which really let me down. Because a story, I think, would have been amazing. It would have been cool just to have an idea of like, A character starting from nowhere and becoming the best and having some sort of other motivation. Maybe this is like their big opportunity to make money, or who knows, like there's a million ways you could make this a little bit more interesting. But it gets even worse, to be honest, as far as the story and that kind of goes, is, well, you can actually choose who to fight in your first match. And what I mean by that is there's like a lottery pick, there's a quote-unquote story pick, and there's a legendary pick. And essentially, you're going to have to fight them all anyway to move on, because the only way to move on is to collect stars, or basically have a good performance. But you need to have enough good performances in different matches to be able to move on. And none of them are really that difficult either. But the thing is like, at least with the story, if you would go with that and you would select to fight that guy, I would love for them to say, okay, now you can train, and maybe him just send you a couple texts or something, like just a little bit of motivation of like, hey, this guy's angry at you. This is going to be, a classic brawl. It's going to be awesome. Just a little something, but they don't. And so it's like, it shouldn't even be called a story. The reason why I think they put it in story is because he's a weaker enemy. To be honest, even the legendary guy isn't that quote unquote legendary. I really did have a problem with this, only because, again, this game really comes close to something like Fight Night Round 3, which I absolutely loved, but it just misses because of that aspect. And I don't think that's something that's crazy to ask for. Give me some story, give me some reason, some motivation, because the actual gameplay is really fun. And I could see this being a game that a lot of people would actually enjoy, especially people who do like to play, like couch co-op or something like that, where you can play with your friends. There's a ton of fun in that aspect of this game. A quick side note here, one of my favorite things to do while playing with my friends is to have my boxer go up and hug their boxer and just keep hugging them and trying to like therapize them and, figure out why they're so angry and why they want to fight. It was hilarious with like me and my friends and everybody, but yeah, I could see that not being so great when you're just playing by yourself. You'd look like a weirdo. Or if you just want to go through and just fight people mindlessly, there's also a lot of fun in that as well, sort of. See, relatively early, I believe after the second stage, so to speak, I unlocked some sort of achievement where I basically unlocked all the diamonds, and which is a currency you can have in there to unlock characters and gear and things like that. Also, a ton of the actual like currency, the gold, the money of the game. And this achievement was relatively easy. I don't even remember what it was. But the thing I do remember is right after that, I was going to fight the first boss, which is a clown. I thought this is going to be cool. He looks really interesting. Looks kind of messed up. All right, cool. Well, it basically prompts me that I can go buy another character now. I don't have to just use my lame, weak dude. And I did. And I purchased this like zombie looking dude. He was basically on fire. Scorched, I believe is his name. And I proceeded to just beat the living hell out of the clown. And that can be fine for some people, but I realized after that, I could just take this guy and just basically run the table. He was super powered, amazingly strong, quick, has a lot of defense, health, all that. And that was my issue, I guess, is like, well, I don't want a character who can just pretty much break the game like that early. I would like there to be some struggle. And I understand there's going to be enough people who say, well, yeah, but you don't have to choose him. No, you don't. But I mean, to be honest, you don't have to drive your car to work every day either, but you do, don't you? And I mean, it goes more than that. Like, I can see this one basically choosing to either be an arcade style game or a simulation game. And instead of them making that choice, they kind of went down the middle, which I would prefer them to just choose one or the other, because I think there is some validity to both games and both styles. But when you go right down the middle, you don't have a full arcade game and you don't have a full simulation game. You have kind of mix of both. And the thing is, it could be a really good version of each. Now, ultimately, are the graphics good? Yeah, the graphics hold up pretty well. Sound, not great, but it's fine. Is it worth $2? Yes. Without a doubt, yes. Especially if you have any sort of inkling to being into boxing or you want that kind of sports game. This is a fantastic one as far as everything goes, except for the actual story, except for your motivation. And if you're not a person who really cares about that, then you're not going to care at all about, my critiques, and you're just going to want to play the boxing because it really does respond really well. It moves really well. It feels great in the hand. Everything about that aspect of it is great. It's almost flawless, honestly. But again, my big issue being not much of a story and not much to keep me personally going. But for $2, yes, this game is is definitely well worth it. Anyway, that's my thoughts of the sale of the week. This is just one of those videos that I've seen this game so many times. It's always on there. It always looks good. And honestly, it is. Like, if I was to rate this game, I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10. And that's me personally. If I was to look from like an objective point of view, I'd probably give it a 7 to a 7.5. There's not a lot to complain about with it. The only issue I really have, like I said, is a lack of story, a lack of motivation. But for most people, I think they're just going to enjoy what's there. And again, for $2, it's hard to really say that it's not worth it. But let me know what games you're playing, what games are on sale that you're looking at or you're curious about. Just let me know any and all comments. Do you have any reviews you want me to do? Any of that stuff, just let me know down below. Let's talk about it. Anyway, guys, like always, I'm wishing you health, wealth, and above all, I hope you're truly happy because you make me happy. Oh, one other slight thing. You might see production, like an increased production of videos in the next week, as I've got a lot of videos to catch up on. So not only are you going to see the afternoon videos, but there might be like early morning type videos as well. Late night, early morning releases. Kind of just depends on when my daughter lets me actually make videos. But anyway, you guys have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.